And there were so many moments when he was smiling as he was harmonizing with his inner child. And a lot of people interpreted that as healing his inner child, celebrating his journey, loving himself and all the versions of him that got him to this moment. Hey, babe, I'm Brooke Jean, licensed therapist, coach, mama, and your straight talking guide to ditching the pressure and living a life unperfected. I've coached some of the top C-suite women in America, women leading million-dollar companies while secretly falling apart. I've been her. I blend psychology, neuroscience, and energetics with lived experience to help high-achieving women actually heal so that they can access their limitless energy, creativity, and vitality. So if you're a perfection-obsessed woman who's checked every damn box, career, family, house, 401k, but still feels low-key dead inside, you're in the right place. Here, we rip off the good girl mask, call out the BS, and build a life that actually feels like yours. We're talking healing, we talk revealing, we talk rising, and we do it raw, real, and unfiltered. Hello, my loves, and welcome back to the Unperfected Pod. I'm Brooke Jean, your host, and like always, I'm so happy and grateful that you are here. This episode, I previously recorded last week, and 19 minutes of the audio went out. So, as you may have noticed, your girl is having some audio issues with my, of course, more expensive microphones. So we are going to take it back old school and we're going to start recording again on the original gangster. Okay, how we started this party. Actually, this wasn't even the first one. I had the Blue Yeti. Then I had this bad boy, and then I went to the Shure ones. So hopefully I'm going to keep my eye on the blinking light that tells me if my audio is working, and hopefully you guys are getting a really clear signal. So I recorded this episode, which were my Justin Bieber Coachella recap, and because it didn't work, I was super bummed because I just don't like when that happens. But B, I was like, you know what? Maybe I'm not meant to talk about my Justin Bieber. Maybe that content just isn't what the people are looking for. But then C, I realized after Coachella weekend 2, and all the emotions that I went through this morning, rewatching all the clips from last night's show. Oh, honey, this is definitely worth a discussion. And maybe just that one was premature. Maybe I needed weekend 1 and weekend 2 to properly try to absorb what's going on from afar and share your takeaways, or I guess my takeaways with you. So here's the scoop. I have been a Justin Bieber fan forever. Back when he first started, I was just like, he had that raw talent that would give me goosebumps, right? That's one of my things, is when I am in the presence of raw talent and people are fully embodied in their gift, I get the full body goosies. And so I've been obsessed with him and his gift for the longest time, right? And now that he's had this full circle moment at Coachella, I have some serious thoughts about this, right? I was really taken back by how many feelings I would feel, and then how many beautiful messages are being pushed out because of this full circle moment. And so as a psychotherapist who studies human behavior and all of the things that we do as humans to survive this wild and precious life, as a mother and as a fan, honey, I have 5 things that I want to share with you as I walk away from the Justin Bieber headlining Coachella. Okay. So this is just your girl getting on to have some pop talk. All right. Like, not every episode needs to be, here's 5 ways to handle your anxiety. Here's 5 ways to work with your inner child. Now, those things are beautiful. But there's another side of me that also just loves, okay, all the pop things. I've got guilty pleasures just like you do. But this has really moved me, okay? And I don't care how corny that sounds. This has really moved me. And so I took some time to unpack, like, why is this impacting me so deeply? Like, bone level, soul level. And here's what I came up with, okay? So, number one, the world needed, and I mean needed with a capital N, some feel good shit on the internet. We as a species and as American people, all people, but we are so burnt out by the negativity on the news. It's just been one thing after the other for us here in America. And our nervous systems are friggin' over it, okay? I don't think I can handle one more bad bit of news, just like I can't handle one more thing to look into. Sidebar, I got the most intense rash basically for the last like 10 days now. So it's funny, I jinxed myself by saying I can't take one more thing that I need to like figure out what's wrong, and then I got this massive gnarly rash that I've had to figure out what is going on. So that's really cool. But that's a sidebar. We didn't need any more drama. We just needed some feel good shiza maniza. And when I say Justin delivered on that, I mean Justin delivered on that, okay? The whole Coachella 2 weekends, it's been nothing but watching clips for me, interviews, people predicting what people are gonna play, what they ended up playing, outfits, love, so many things. And yes, there's been some negative talk about Coachella, and that's fine. I'm not the biggest advocate of festivals or Coachella anymore in my prime age of 45. All right, your girl did Bonnaroo back in the day, and I'm not into the sweating my tits off, fighting for space to dance in, bugs, thirsty, camping, all that. Your girl has retired that. So how lovely that we could live stream it. And if you couldn't stay up for the live stream because you know your bedtime is 8:30 to 9:30 p.m., no shade, then we got to watch all of the clips. So we are desperate for something positive, something light, something airy, something uplifting. And that's exactly what this is. To see somebody who was a child star, who has gone through a journey, and I can only imagine what he's been going through, for example, since the Diddy stuff has come forward, right? He's gone through some things, right? Just like every other human being. But this performance, both of them were a complete full circle moment where he was celebrating his journey, celebrating, like starting on YouTube, and that's where he got spotted, and harmonizing with his younger self. And he looks so healthy, so happy, so clean. He was on point. And there were so many moments when he was smiling as he was harmonizing with his inner child. And a lot of people interpreted that as healing his inner child, celebrating his journey, loving himself and all the versions of him that got him to this moment where he's headlining Coachella, right? And so, and then there's so many messages with the clips that are being shared around that, like hope for healing and full circle moment, and I haven't felt this good in forever, . So Number one, my takeaway is like this kind of stuff is needed. We are desperate for dopamine and we are desperate for feel good information on the internet. The internet has become such a Debbie effing Downer, literally. So that's one of the reasons why I think it's so impactful is we all needed a break and Coachella gave us that. Number two, Justin Bieber is an artist, true and true, and he is exactly who the F he thinks he is. I know raw talent when I see it. Come for me, I don't care. He can sing, honey, and he's always been able to sing. And it was really cute because last night and weekend too, as he was sharing some of his older videos, he was saying, I was just a kid who loved to sing. And then one thing happened, and then another thing happened, and then another thing happened. And you guys know how much I preach on here to follow your bliss. Follow what lights you up. Follow what you're curious about, drawn to, good at. He's such a beautiful example of someone who just loved to sing. So he started singing on YouTube, and one thing led to another, led to another, led to another, and now he's Justin Drew Bieber. But he is talented. And for the haters that are saying, you know, it wasn't a production and blah, 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 let me just say this. He's earned his flowers. He's been in the game since what? He was 12. So the fact that he's on stage singing his absolute biscuits off and sounding that good, that's all we need. Okay, all the production, all the backup dancers, all the outfit changes, those are cool, I think, for certain artists. But I think you get to a point in your career where you just don't have to do all that anymore. And I think that he knew his real believers, we want to hear him sing and we want to connect to him as a person. Even though he's in the public eye, you don't really know the ins and outs of his head or his heart. And so he really took the time to take us on the journey with him, starting from the bottom, now we here, while talking to us and connecting to us. He also did such a phenomenal job, like talking to the camera for the live streamers, like you really felt like you were there. So when you can sing like that, by the way, singing outside for that many people is hard to frickin' do. But he sounded incredible. I would argue better than he sounded in the last 10 years. So he is exactly who he thinks he is. He is that talented. He can sing. And if he just wants to show up in acoustic style, sing on a microphone, honey, I'm going to take it. I don't need all the bells and whistles. And he doesn't need to do those either. People were comparing it to Sabrina Carpenter, and it's like, but here's the deal. Justin's been doing it a lot longer. I'm sure Sabrina has been singing for a long time, and this is nothing against her. I like Sabrina Carpenter. I think she's got a beautiful voice, and oh my God, she brought out Madonna, my queen, my idol, and sang like a prayer. Y'all, that freaked, I can't. That was such a smart move. That was everything. But Sabrina Carpenter has not been in the game as long. She has not been through, decades of this stuff. Sabrina Carpenter is also not in the same position as Justin Bieber, where he broke up with his management, sold his music, and said, I'm going to do it my way. And everybody doubted him and said, you're going to crash and burn without your management, without this, your label, this and that and the other. And he started doing things his own way, and he skyrockets. So I think Sabrina, if she stays in the game, she can get to a place where she can sit, on a bar stool and open mic it, and people can just be so into it. But she's not there yet. Justin did the big production. He did all of that. You could kind of tell. It's funny because as I think back to some of those performances, you could kind of tell that he was not fully into it. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, I don't know, the vibes when he was at the Grammys or the Oscars or whatever lately. You can just tell, like, he's not really that into it. But when he was singing his songs with no production in the back, when he was, YouTubing and harmonizing with little Justin, you could actually see the contentment, the peace, and the delight on his face. And that's what made people feel like it's a full circle moment. That's what was so beautiful about it. So, takeaway number 2 is Justin Drew Bieber is exactly who he thinks he is, and you cannot tell me otherwise. Number 3, I have been teaching my clients, everybody that is in my world, I have been sharing that with the rise of AI, it's going to be more important than ever that we learn how to human again. And what I mean by human again is the qualities that make human beings special, unique, rare. We want to amplify them. So our emotional intelligence, our empathy, our energy, the way that we create, that's going to be the currency going forward. And this was the perfect example of that. The way that I felt when Justin was looking back at his little child and singing with him and smiling, that feeling that I had, AI will never be able to replace that. Okay, if you got to go to Coachella and you were there, live, the feeling that you felt, that is not replaceable. So how we make people feel when we're sitting with them, that's going to be the real currency going forward. All of the perfection, it's out. All of the perfectly written captions, people can see right through that. Overly produced, we're going to get bored of that. Everything that's like perfectly done, our systems are already starting to feel the disconnect with that because it's not real. Okay? So when a human being has a connection to another human being and it's real and you feel a certain way, like, and let's say Justin Bieber isn't your thing, Coachella isn't your thing. I want you to take a moment and I want you to think about your favorite artist, your favorite music artist of all time, your favorite band. And when you've gone to a concert and you are literally jumping and screaming and snot bubble crying and just like with the crowd and the entire crowd is going to the same beat, that feeling, I know you know what I'm talking about. I know you know what I'm talking about. That feeling, that's energy. And that's the currency going forward. And so I think this performance was extraordinarily strategic and genius because the way that he made me feel, it's so different than seeing a perfectly edited and curated video. Do you know what I mean? People want raw, people want real, people want vulnerable, people want to feel something. It's been negative for so long that humans are choosing to dissociate and to numb out, to not feel. But the truth is, we are human beings and we are designed to feel. And so that feeling that people felt, whatever the flavor was based on their story, their connection to the music, that is what we're going to remember. We're not going to remember, the costume changes. We're not going to remember the props on the stage. We're not even going to remember the lights, even though a lot of people love lights and stuff like that. We are going to remember, oh my gosh, this human has had a full circle moment and he was celebrating his journey with us and it was emotional. That is brilliant. So if you're a leader, a mother, a business owner, I want you to be thinking about this. Like, let's not be afraid of AI. Let's learn how to work with it. AI is going to be way better than me at some things, but nothing can replace the feeling that you feel when you are with other human beings, right? This is a huge reason why I'm doing dance alchemy classes in person as a part of my funnel right now. I want to connect. I want to be in person. I want to move my body. I want to dance to music. I want to see other women dancing and smiling and crying and moving. Like, these are the things that we're going to remember. And so I think as a society, we've been on this like virtual internet online kick for so long that to end it with the perfection that is AI when it comes to marketing copy, emails, social media captions, we're starting to numb out. We're starting to immediately sense, oh, that's AI. I'm not even going to read it. I'm not going to connect to it. We want what's real. So where are you creating things that are real in your family, in your relationships, and in your business or on your team if you're a leader? Number 4, I already alluded to, but it was the awareness of inner child healing that was brought from these 2 sets. Like, I have never seen this many people talking about inner child healing. And every single person that made a reel and shared a clip and tied it to him being good with his inner child, him healing with his inner child, to me as a therapist, this is beautiful, you guys. This has been a huge part of the work that I've done as a human, and it is a huge part that really unlocks things for my clients. It's looking at the littler versions of you and making peace with them, giving them a voice, allowing them to feel, express, and emote, but letting them know, like, I got you. I'm the grown-up. I'm the higher self. I'm the inner CEO. But I love you. You have a seat at my table. I honor the journey that we've gone through. You did the best you could with what you had at that point. Do you know how healing and therapeutic and expansive it is to look at the younger versions of you that were messy and say, I love you. And if you wouldn't have had the courage to be messy then, I wouldn't have learned this lesson that led me to this thing. And I wouldn't have done this thing that led me to this thing. So many of us are at war with younger versions of ourselves because they did shameful things. They messed up in relationships. They messed up, in their lives. They said things they didn't mean. They embarrassed themselves, right? But it's like that younger version of you was really doing the best that she could with what she had. And how friggin' precious. Let's love her. Let's put flowers at her feet. Because now we know different, so we do different. We didn't know back then. When you look back at you, when you first started, whatever your craft is, we all were shaky and wobbly. I cringe. I literally cringe when I see the Facebook Lives that I started doing like 8 or 9 years ago. When they pop up on my remember this on Facebook, I'm like, oh my gosh. But listen, I look at her and I see a woman who thought that showing up online and sharing something that could help one person was more important than the fear I had of looking or sounding like anything undesirable, stupid, silly, full of herself, outspoken, underspoken. You know what I mean? And if she wouldn't have started, then I wouldn't have kept practicing and I wouldn't be here now talking to you. Do you know what I mean? And on stages and training teams and sitting with clients. We have to appreciate the younger versions of ourselves and say thank you and see the giftedness and the gold in that and bring them in and then also reparent them. and remind them that, like, it's not all on little Brookie to figure this out and little Beebs to figure this out. Like, I've got you. So whether that was intentional or not by him, the fact that it was interpreted that way by so many people and has been shared where millions and millions and millions of people have viewed it, this is a moment for healing, where we're using pop culture to normalize and bring awareness to inner child healing. Like, we've used pop culture to bring awareness to things that aren't super sexy and cool, that aren't super appropriate and healthy. This was an example of pop culture putting inner child healing, and we can heal and we can recover, and we all have a comeback story in us no matter how many times we fall down, on the main stage. And I am here for that. There is power in doing this work. And there is power in falling off and getting back up again and getting back up again and getting back up again. And when somebody like Justin Bieber makes it cool, more people are going to look into it, get curious about it, listen to a podcast, read a book, maybe even get into therapy, y'all. More men in therapy healing their inner child? Are you kidding me? Do you know how much we need that right now? And it's not lost on me that this movement is happening the same week we find out about the RAPE Academy. Okay, the same moment where I am just so disheartened by this thing that exists in our world, and that 62 million men joined it or looked it up. I don't even care. It's too many and whatever. At this, we will focus on that, right? Because it's ugly. But there's also a waking up to, men healing. Men being proud to be a husband and a father. Men being proud to have a relationship spiritually, right? So I think it's important that we give attention to both. And my system personally really wants to look for the good. So I love that there is there's buzz around inner child healing. And I hope that we can continue to educate people and share what it means and how to start it and how to get support and all of those things, because it's extraordinary work for sure. Okay, the last one is don't believe everything you read online. So I remember having a conversation with my son like 6 months ago, maybe a year ago, and he had this belief that Justin and Haley were having problems and all of this stuff. And I was like, maybe they are. Also, what couple doesn't have problems, especially when you bring a baby into the world? But also, maybe these are stories that people are making up, right? And so we know that Justin was brought up in the limelight. We know that he was really famous really fast. We know that he was married. We also know, I guess we don't know, this is another headline that we don't know, that he did have some addiction issues. He had some health issues. And now he's on what is arguably the biggest stage in the world, looking healthy, looking strong, enjoying himself, and really tipping his hat to his wife and his son. And so I think it's important to just remember that, the media loves to paint people out a certain way, whether it's positive or negative. And if you're somebody that, is online and visible to get your product, service, artistry, gift out into the world, there's going to be narratives. But I think if we collectively stop buying into narratives, then there would be less to capture and less stories to sell to TMZ. Like, the reason why the paparazzi and TMZ and all the blogs are so popular is because we love reading them, right? We love reading them because it gives us a dopamine hit, honestly, if that's really what it comes down to. Oh, and I'm wearing my dopamine dealer hat today. But if we stop believing that shit and we stop giving it our attention, would that change that? It probably wouldn't make it go away, but it might shift it in some way. Like, people are creating what the people will buy. I want to buy positive shit. I want to see the actual music, the actual artistry. I want to hear your comeback story. I want to hear your testimony of the thing that you went through and what you overcome. I want to know what you're passionate about right now and what you're doing to solve a problem in the world. I want to know what makes moms feel good. Like, I want to know those things. I don't want to know some of these, like, quote unquote gossip type things about public figures, or honestly anyone else for that matter. Like, there's several things that keep coming up on my FYP on TikTok that I'm like, I am not interested in this. There's like a mom accusing her daughter of sleeping with her husband, and all these people are getting involved, and I just keep scrolling. Like, I don't want into their business. I want to assume the best of these people. This is crazy. This is sad. Like, but it's like going viral and getting all this traction because we're viewing it. So in my mind, I've taught you guys a million times over, where your attention goes, energy flows, and what you focus on expands. So if we keep focusing on the gossip and the drama and the sad things that are happening in the world, they get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And where we choose to focus on something different, we build that. Now, that's not to say that by choosing to focus on, more positive shit on the internet is going to take away the fact that we're at war again. So it's not to spiritually bypass the realness of what's going on and the real challenges that people are living through right now. We have to do a dance between facing the hard thing, feeling the feelings about it, and then focusing on choosing and creating our own reality. And being the person, the mother, the leader, the creator, the inventor, the whatever artist that you are meant to be, to lift the vibration of the planet, to help people feel better. If we get stuck in the drama, we know where that goes. And if we're only focused on positive and we just act like none of this is even happening, well, that's avoidance, and that's not really helping either. But I think there's a way to dance between being informed and feeling your feelings about it and taking action where you want to take action and shutting it off where you want to shut it off, and then like guiding your awareness to things that actually make you feel better. And if there's something that makes you feel better, like watching somebody's comeback story, or, reading a book that you love, or listening to a piece of music that moves you, the ripple of good that does in the field of energy and with your family and with your clients is, it's freaking next level. It's amazing. So I think what this really showed us was that we are desperate for some positive shit on the internet, and let's feed that and let's fuel that and let's minimize the attention that we're giving to any extremist online that's a news reporter or otherwise, people that are tearing people down, gossip, lies and bullshit. And let's really hone in on, how do you want to feel? I want to feel content. I want to feel okay. I want to feel inspired. I want to feel laughter. That's not a feeling, but I want to laugh. Okay. What's the feeling that you feel if something's funny? Delighted. I don't fucking know. So how am I focusing my awareness on things that help me feel that way? You guys know, if you're following along on Instagram at Brooke Jean Unperfected, I'm sharing how I'm pulling myself out of a depressive rut yet again. And I'm sharing what I'm doing that helps. And I'm just documenting my journey, because I know I'm not the only one that's high achieving who also really struggles with her mental health. And while I don't think there's a one size fits all protocol, do this and this will be better, I think it's a combination of things. And one of those things is focusing on the things that make you feel good and doing things that make you feel good versus focusing on the things that draw your energy down and suck you dry. So let's recap. Ya girls, 5 takeaways, because I'm on that Justin Bieber shit. I'm on it. Number 1, the world needed some feel good stuff right now. And he delivered. Number 2, Justin is exactly who he thinks he is. He is an artist, true and true. Number 3, with everything, not with everything going to AI, but with the rise of AI, the human connection, human intimacy, human creativity, human energy is going to be the currency. It already is. It already is. How you make people feel, that's going to be the thing. It's not about perfection. It's not about production. It's about realness. People want to feel something, and they're only going to feel it if it's real, boo-boops. Number 4, honoring your inner child and the power of inner child healing and the attention that is getting right now from this show is just tickles me pink. And then number 5, don't believe everything you read on the internet. Okay? So those are my thoughts. I'm going to keep watching the clips. My son is watching the clips. We are going back and forth. We're bonding over it. I think it's kind of re-inspiring him and his artistry right now, which is so fun and exciting to see. And yeah, every once in a while, I think it's fun to pop on here and talk about something light, like that's in pop culture. So please let me know if you like me talking about things in pop culture or not, okay? All right, my loves, take care of yourselves and there for each other, and I will see you very soon. Bye for now. Hey babe, if you made it this far, I know you're serious about taking action and creating a life you actually love. Just by showing up, you're telling yourself and the universe, I matter. I'm ready. Let's go. So don't be surprised if things start shifting in your favor. If this episode moved you, do me a favor. Follow, rate, and review the show on Apple or Spotify, and subscribe to my YouTube channel at Brooke Jean Unperfected. It helps us reach more women, more mamas who are ready to do this work. And if something really landed, DM me on Instagram at Brooke Jean Unperfected or share a clip and tag me. I want to see what's moving through you and continue to support your journey. And hey, make sure you download my free guide, Get Unstuck, 5 therapeutic steps to take aligned action. All the links are in the show notes, and let's get you moving.